Hello everyone and welcome back to the City of Thieves. When we last left off, we have met Nicodemus, so theoretically, on paper, we have completed our mission, our quest. Unfortunately, he wouldn't budge, stating he's old, and instead he handed us the mission to take care of Zambar Bone ourselves. In order to do that, we need 4 things. A tattoo, a weird tattoo, some black pearl, some hag's hair, and a lotus flower. So from now on, our quest has turned into finding these ingredients or these special items, which are stated to be available within city limits. So let's head out. Our stats are great. We are almost fully healed up. All the other stats are okay. We still have some money left, and yeah. So leaving Nicodemus's hut, we climb the steps and cross the bridge over Catfish River. Bridge Street continues north a short distance before ending at a junction. Alright, we could go to Harbour Street or Candle Street. We have no indication which leads to what. So let's try Candle Street first. Turning east has turned out to be a great choice previously, so let's repeat that one. On the right side of the street we see a small alleyway between 2 houses. The alley soon ends at a doorway with 6 skulls painted on it, 1 black and 5 white. Okay, this is another optional encounter, obviously, so this is kind of a store or something. It's a place we can enter, so it's not an abode, not some living quarters. And so let's check it out. I don't think we are in any immediate danger, and we might gain something. So let's walk down the alley and open the door. We enter a small candlelit room with no windows. It is empty, apart from a table and 2 chairs. A man wearing black robes and a skull cap is standing in the corner. He smiles and asks us to sit down at the table. He sits opposite us and, after placing 6 white pills on top of 6 skulls on the table, looks up to us and says, "One of the pills before you is deadly poisonous. The others are harmless. Swallow one of your choice. If you live, I will give you 20 gold pieces. If you die, I keep all your possessions." Alright? This guy is creepier than even the irregular inhabitants of this place. And yeah, so it's clearly, this picture was clearly taken before he put the pills on top of skulls, I guess. Alright, we could just leave the room and walk back up to the alley, so we could continue our journey without doing this, but we kind of need the money, and 20 gold pieces is a lot. It's more than what we currently have, so it's definitely worth it. So let's play this deadly game and hope we don't perish. We agree to the game, but can't quite contain our nervousness. Sweat breaks out on our forehead. We choose a pill and swallow it. Okay, so we need to roll a die, and if we roll a 1, we die. Whew, that was lucky. You actually can die here, so it's really lucky we rolled a 3. We have chosen a harmless pill. We feel a rush of relief, as well as adrenaline from our win. The man reaches into a pouch on his cord belt and hands us 20 gold pieces. He bids us farewell. We leave the room and walk back up the alley to Candle Street. Okay, so we practically played Russian roulette, this time with pills instead of guns, and we won. This is excellent news, as this means that we have, as I've said, we have practically doubled, or more than doubled actually, our currency count, so our money. So let's see what else Candle Street has in it for us. We leave the house and return to the junction. Where would we like to go next? Let's still continue down Candle Street. Walking along the street, we are suddenly halted by a plant pot smashing on the cobblestones in front of us. We look to the left and see an open window. Inside, voices can be heard arguing. The door to the house is open. We could enter the house to find out what the argument is about, or decide to mind our own business and continue east. Well, let's investigate. We can be good arbiters as well. So let's see if we can help out. We enter the house and find ourselves standing in a room full of toys. But they are not ordinary toys. These are stuffed creatures with nails through their heads, dolls' houses that are made to look as if they are on fire, and many other unpleasant objects. In the middle of the room stand two old women dressed as though they were little girls. They are squabbling over a carved wooden duck. Each looks eager to destroy the duck with the knives they are holding. On seeing us, the women both start to shout, "Give us toys! Give us toys!" Right? I stand corrected. The previous guy was not the creepiest inhabitant of Candle Street, because these two, I don't know what they are, these two old geezers certainly out-weird him. I don't know if they're witches or they went crazy or they sniffed some potion or some fumes that they shouldn't have. And however, we can give them something, I guess. So let's see. We could leave these strange old ladies, by the way, so we are not in any immediate danger. But we can also sort through our haversack trying to find a suitable item. We could give any of these to the old ladies, including the winged helmet, which I'm definitely not gonna give. I don't know. Probably they're happy to get something that pointy sticky, so like an iron spike or a butcher's hook. Let's give them the butcher's hook. I'm not sure we're gonna need it, so this should be okay. I don't want to give the golden flower, that could come in handy, nor the throwing knife or the climbing rope or the lantern. So actually the only two items are either the iron spike or the butcher's hook. This hook was more expensive, but it's an ordinary item, and the iron spike was stated to be something special, so let's stick with the hook. The women immediately start arguing again over our gift to them, ignoring us completely. We look around the room and see a table set for a meal. There are 2 bowls of hot soup on top of the table waiting to be drunk. Well, since we have given them something, we can also take something in return. It's just fair trade, right? So let's pick up the wooden spoon and drink some of the soup. The soup tastes absolutely disgusting, and unsurprisingly so. We could spit it out or swallow it, but let's see what happens if we swallow it. I don't think we're gonna die. I don't think it's pure poison, so we can probably weather the effects. Despite its rotten taste, the soup includes herbs blended in an ancient tradition which are beneficial to health. We gain 4 stamina points. Feeling somewhat revitalized, we decide to leave the ladies to their argument and head east, although I wouldn't call them ladies. I'd like to make this point that they were not ladies, they were crazy old women. Our stamina is back up to full, which is great news. We only missed or lacked 1 health point or stamina point. So I'm not sure if trading that butcher's hook was worth it, but obtaining 4 stamina here is a great way. So this is a great place to heal your wounds if you're in need. Let's continue down the street. Eventually, the street comes to a dead end at a high stone wall. There are stone steps leading to the top of the wall. On the other side of the wall, we can hear grunts, growls, and cheering. Okay, let's check it out. We could actually turn back to Harbour Street, so it seems like this is a dead end, or maybe the path continues over the wall, but first let's check it out. From the top of the wall, we see that it encircles a group of brown creatures playing some kind of a game, with a wooden stick and a small leather ball. One of the creatures has just hit the ball and is running towards a creature from the other team who has his foot on a cloth bag. We realize that these creatures are bays, playing their favorite game, baseball. Somebody was funny writing this chapter. And incidentally, this creature is crying charge on the top left. Alright, these little imp or familiar-like creatures are very creepy, but I doubt that they're dangerous, especially when they're playing their game. So let's see what happens if we ask to join them. Probably they just tell us to get out of here, but you know, it doesn't. I don't think they will hurt us. They agree to let us join their game. We have difficulty understanding the base, but we gather that one of the other team is going to throw the ball at us. We are handed the wooden stick and told that if we hit the ball over the wall, we will win the game for them. Okay, quick note here. It was written by, this book was written by Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson, the original Steve Jackson, by the way. There was another guy called Steve Jackson who wrote more game books just to confuse people in the same series. Anyway, they are British, and I can't help but taste the ire for for American ways in this little chapter here, in this little encounter. So those creatures playing baseballs are not exactly how to put it, not exactly exemplary in their looks or behaviors. Anyway, we must test our skill. We have a skill of 11, so we ought to pass. And we definitely passed the skill check, so we had a 1 in 10, so 10% chance of failing, I think. Yes, we passed, so let's turn. We hit the ball powerfully in the middle of the bat and watch it soar over the wall. All the bays on our side rush over to us and slap our hands with theirs. They are overjoyed at their victory. Supporters run over and start handing us gifts. Eventually, we manage to wriggle free from our admirers and find a place to sit down to inspect our gifts. We have been given 8 gold pieces, a bottle containing a clear liquid labeled Potion of Mind Control, a silver flute, a bunch of bananas, a piece of chalk, and an eye patch. All right, so it's it's quite a little collection of random stuff. Some of it is quite valuable. The gold pieces are always useful. The Potion of Mind Control must be extremely valuable, as well as silver flute. But, you know, an eye patch and a piece of chalk doesn't sound very interesting. We eat the bananas, gaining 2 stamina points, which we didn't need, but bananas are yummy, so at least that. And hopefully the bananas took out the taste of that broth or soup that the old quote-unquote ladies were cooking, and place the rest of the items in our backpack. Right. We climb back over the wall before the base start another game, walk back to the junction and head west along Harbour Street. Okay, so this was a dead end and we only managed to gain stuff from it, so we are back to full health. Or rather, we lost the butcher's hook. Sorry, we traded it off, which is fine. We obtained a lot of items and we have 42 gold pieces, so I call this a success. Let's see what Harbour Street harbors. We pass a beggar in the street. He is sitting in the gutter and holds an empty tin in his hand. All right, we can toss a gold piece into his tin. We just obtained a lot of relatively much gold, so enough that we can spare 1 gold piece for a good cause. Let's hope he doesn't attack us for our kindness. The beggar tips his hat in gratitude and mumbles a few words. We gain 1 luck point before continuing west. Okay, we didn't need the luck point, it was already at maximum, but I guess being kind was worth it by itself, in itself. It didn't cost much, just 1 gold piece, so that's fine. A narrow alleyway runs south off the street between 2 houses. Okay, let's investigate the alleyway. Normally I wouldn't, like with the dwarves I didn't, but I don't think we are in any immediate danger right now, and we might find something interesting. Ahead, the alleyway is strewn with rubbish and discarded possessions. Suddenly, we hear a growling and we see movement amongst the rubbish. We draw our sword just in time as 2 wild dogs, each 1.5 meters long, leap at us. We must fight, alright? These dogs have clearly mistaken us for easy prey and some food, I guess, but with a skill of 4, I don't predict a long existence for them. Yeah, so we rolled 1 + 1, they had a decent roll, the other one had a decent roll, and we still actually hit it. Dog number 2, even weaker with only 3 stamina points. It doesn't matter, we actually need to land 2 hits to destroy it. And we do. We are victorious. I'm sorry for the dice animation. This thing gets turned off. Or somehow it's a bug. After one roll, if you restarted the app, after one roll they get turned off again. So we have defeated these beasts. And we actually purchased the golden flower, one golden flower, not golden flowers, from the florist, Mrs. Pipe, back on Clock Street, if you recall. And that's right, so let's see if we can use it. If you recall, Mrs. Pipe told us to use it with the blood of dogs, and now we have the blood of 2 dogs on our hands, so let's see if it works out. We dip the petals of the flower in the spilled blood of the dead dogs. On contact with the blood, the petals sparkle and make a popping noise. On the floor are 10 gold pieces. We pick up the gold and walk back up the alleyway to Harbour Street, where we turn left. Alright, so we now have 51 gold pieces, which is excellent. Let's see what else this street has in store for us. Ahead, we hear the noisy clatter of galloping hooves on the cobblestones. We hear the noise of wooden wheels and an urging voice, followed by the crack of a whip. Someone is rapidly approaching in a horse-drawn carriage. Right? We could hide out of sight behind the barrel and watch the carriage pass by, and I mean, that's the most cowardly thing I've ever heard. So we're not going to do that. Instead, we are going to stay and see who it is. We step out into the middle of the street and wait. Suddenly, a pair of horses come galloping into view, pulling an ornate gold carriage. The driver sees us and, cracking his whip, yells, "Make way for Lord Azure!" Yes. Alright. I immediately concur that, or I can immediately assert that this carriage is not going to stop for us. Doesn't need to. The horses can run us over easy. So I'm not saying we made a mistake by staying out on the road. I mean, we're no cowards, but now it's time to get out of the road. We could stay where we are, but that's clearly a bad idea. Rather, let's step out of the path of the oncoming carriage. We don't want anything to do with Lord Azure, and we definitely don't want to be hurt by the horses. As the carriage thunders by, the driver lashes out at us with his whip. We lose 1 stamina point. We curse the driver of the carriage as it races out of view, rubbing our neck where the whip has raised a wheel. Alright, that's unfortunate. Nothing deadly though. We're down to 23 stamina points, which is still excellent. So this was annoying or upsetting, but nothing really crucial. So let's continue off west, not that we have any other options to do so. The street gradually starts to run downhill. The houses end at a tavern called the Black Lobster, and the street opens out onto a quayside. A stone jetty runs out to sea, and tied to it is an old galleon. It is flying the Skull and Crossbones, and is probably one of the many pirate ships that anchor in Port Black Sand to offload their booty. Booty, not beauty, booty. The booty that they captured from other ships. They raided. Harbour Street turns right at the jetty and runs north parallel to the shore as far as we can see. Alright? Well, I guess this is the black heart, or the rotten core of this City of Thieves. And this guy looks inquisitive. You could smack his face in. And clearly there is a pirate ship here and another one, or rather 2 out in the sea, out at sea a bit further. And yeah, and I think I know what this establishment is selling, with all the ladies about. Anyway, we have 2 options. We could just follow the street, or we could walk down the jetty to climb aboard the ship. And let's do that. This is definitely a dead end. I don't think they're gonna this ship is leaving anytime soon. So let's see what a pirate ship is like. I've never been on one, so this seems like kind of a new adventure, mini adventure to take. A rope ladder hangs down from the stern of the ship to the jetty. There is also a gangplank leading up the side of the ship. Well, we could board the ship both ways, by climbing the rope ladder or walking straight up the gangplank, and I'm not afraid. Probably there are guards, or at least one guard, but what is a pirate gonna do to us? Let's use the gangplank. Let's use the direct approach. At the top of the gangplank stands one of the ship's crew. On seeing us, he draws his cutlass and tells us to get off the ship. We could do as he says, walk back down the gangplank along the jetty and turn left up Harbour Street, or we could draw our weapon and test our swordsmanship against this pirate. Well, what if we rid the world of one evildoer? Let's draw our sword and fight, just for the fun of it. I'm pretty sure we outmatch this idiot. The pirate seems pleased that we wish to fight him and grins, revealing a toothless mouth which unnerves us a little. Alright? So everybody is happy to fight. And yep, this pirate chose his foe wrongly. With a skill of 7, we outscale him by 4 points, and he doesn't really stand a chance. And with a stamina of 5, he goes down very, very quickly. The pirate's pockets contain nothing apart from a piece of stale bread. We leave him to start a search of the wooden boxes and barrels on the ship's deck. Right. The barrels all contain rotten fruit, and the boxes contain manacles and leg irons. Perhaps this is a slave trading ship. All the more reason that for us to have taken out that pirate. There is nothing else of interest to us on deck. We could walk over the deck to the deck cabin to climb down the stairs to the lower decks, or leave the ship, walk back along the jetty, turn left, and walk north up Harbour Street. Well, we could leave, but we just arrived and we defeated this little pirate, so let's investigate the deck cabin first. The stairs lead down into the ship's cargo hold. It is empty, alright, so probably they have unloaded everything, and they have not loaded anything yet, that's why they have rotting food. Probably it's fruit, probably it's stuff that they haven't, eaten yet. They didn't eat on their last trip, rather. Opposite us, a corridor leads from the hall to 2 closed doors. We walk along the corridor and listen at the doors. From the door on our left, we hear loud snoring. From the door on our right, we hear nothing. Okay, let's check first the one that has some sleeping people in it, or sleeping creatures in it, so that we don't have any live enemies behind us, in case the other door turns out to also hold some peril for us in general. So let's first go to the door on the left. Asleep in their bunks are 3 pirates. Their room is small and contains only clothing and a few personal possessions. It looks as if the pirates have been drinking and gambling. There is an uncorked bottle of rum, a mug, and a pack of cards on top of a barrel in the center of the room. Alright? We notice that one of the pirates is wearing a small leather pouch around his neck, and this is the one on the top, and this must be pretty uncomfortable. These guys literally sleep on top of each other, and I mean, the one on the bottom must have a huge, back pain every time he wakes up. It must be the hierarchy, right? So the higher ranking pirate gets the top bunk. Anyway, we could just leave and not take any risks, but let's creep out, let's creep up and try to cut loose the leather pouch. It looks tempting. We edge forward, trying to sneak close enough to the pirate to rob him without waking any of them up. Right, we have our luck stat is 12, so we are guaranteed to succeed, and we are lucky, of course. We managed to cut the pouch loose without waking the pirates. We tiptoe quietly out of the room and close the door. In the corridor, we open the pouch and find 6 black pearls. We also gain 2 luck points, so this was entirely free and entirely guaranteed. That's great. And note that we have one of the 4 or 3 or 4 ingredients, depending on how you look at it, for our concoction or our ground dust that we need to confront Zendarbone. Okay, we have not done already, so we may open the right hand door. Let's see what that room holds. The door opens into a small room, in the center of which stands a steaming hot tub of water. We could hide behind the door inside the room to see who is about to take a bath. Or we could allow whoever it is their privacy. No, we are going to stay and find out whose bath it is. This sounds like a great idea, and people are not truly dangerous when they're taking a bath, so it should be fine. After a few minutes, we hear footsteps coming down the corridor. The door opens and a man walks into the room wearing nothing but a towel around his fat stomach. We watch as he drops the towel and lowers himself gently into the tub with a loud sigh. We could surprise him by drawing our sword and uttering a loud ahem, or we could creep out of the room back into the corridor before he notices us. But why would we do that? So there is nothing we can gain by creeping out of here, except for the fact that we have seen this fat man naked, which is not really an advantage. Instead, let's confront the man. He must be like the first mate or the captain himself, we don't know. And he's in a very vulnerable position, so let's see how he likes it when he sees a sword pointed at him while he's taking a shower. Sorry, not a shower, a bath. We tell the worried bather that despite our hatred for pirates, we will not harm him if he cooperates with us. We ask him if he has any of the items we are searching for, but he replies that as captain of a pirate ship, he does not need such things. To be fair, I believe him. He really doesn't need a lotus flower or hag's hair for sure. Although his crew did have black pearls, but you know. So let's push him. I'm not sure. I'm feeling a bit misled. We press the blade of our sword against his fat neck to make sure he's not lying. He looks terrified and assures us that he's telling the truth. Okay, we're not gonna kill him for this. Then he says, But I do know where you can get a silver arrow. Ben Borryman, the silversmith, will make you anything in silver at a price. You will find him in Clog Street. Making a mental note of the information, we leave the shivering captain alone in his room, locking the door behind us. We may now take a look in the left-hand room, which we already have, or leave the ship and return to Harbour Street. Right. We have seen everything this ship has to offer. We have killed one of the pirates and relieved another one from his possessions. So I'd say that's great. We also obtained some useful information. Let's leave the ship and continue our search. Alright. The street runs north along the quayside for a few hundred meters before arriving at a junction, and we could continue along Clog Street, and the pirate captain said that we have what we need, a silversmith on Clog Street, but I'm pretty sure that Harbour Street kind of ends in the harbour, so I'm pretty sure it's a dead end. So let's see how long this one goes. Let's continue north up Harbour Street. If we can turn back, we will, obviously. Clog Street is a priority, but let's see if we have anything, on offer for us still on this street. This street has so far been very generous with us. The houses on the right-hand side of the street are small and weather-beaten. Old women sit outside on the front steps cleaning fish and mending fishing nets. They are large and jolly, talking to each other and frequently rolling about, bellowing with laughter. The fishermen do not appear to be at home. The street and the quayside come to an end at a great iron anchor. See? I was right. We could speak with these women or turn around and walk back towards the junction. Right. So the only real option is whether we want to speak to these fisher wives or not, and why not? They might know something. Worst case scenario, we just chat or they send us to go away. They're definitely not dangerous or anything, and we also don't intend to harm them, so let's stop for a chat. The jolly fishwives' plump cheeks are as round, as shiny as red apples. We ask if they own any of the items we need, but they all frown and shake their heads collectively. Then one shares a piece of gossip. She tells us that there is a tale that hags have been seen disappearing down sewers to catch rats for their stew pots. However, she has never seen a hag herself. We decide to leave the ladies. We then walk back to the junction and turn left into Clog Street. Right, this was another good choice. It didn't cost us absolutely anything. We talked to these nice little ladies, and incidentally, we really kind of regularly find people that are not evil, that are definitely of good alignment and honest and nice people overall, and they even help us. So I don't know if she's right, but you know, there is no point in trying to mislead us. So I think it's a great time to make the cut of the video here. We have learned a lot of things. We have found the first ingredient of our concoction, and it's time to turn on to Clock Street, but that will only happen in the next video. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.